In the silence of the soul, there exists a power so vast, so unshakable, that it transcends the boundaries of ordinary perception. This power is not born of physical strength, nor is it bound by the limitations of the external world. It is the hidden force that resides within every individual, a force that has been spoken of in hushed tones by sages and mystics throughout the ages, a power woven into the fabric of the cosmos itself. Yet, for most, this inner strength remains dormant, veiled behind layers of conditioned thought, societal constraints, and the illusions of fear and doubt. The journey of awakening this hidden power begins not in the world around us, but in the depths of the mind, where the seeds of transformation are sown. The ancient teachings of Hermeticism, Gnosticism, and Rosicrucianism speak of the universe as a reflection of the individual. The cosmos, in all its infinite complexity, is mirrored within the human mind and spirit. To master the self is to master the universe. The sages of these traditions understood that true power is not something to be sought externally, but something to be cultivated from within. They knew that the mind is the architect of reality, that thought is the creative force behind all things, and that the key to unlocking personal power lies in mastering the internal realms of consciousness. Yet, in today's world, this wisdom has been largely forgotten, overshadowed by the noise of modernity and the distractions of the material world. We are often led to believe that power comes from external achievements, from status, wealth, or the approval of others. But these are illusions, fleeting in nature and bound by the limitations of the physical world. True power, the kind that can transform lives, break through perceived limitations, and bring about profound personal growth, can only be found within. It is the power of the mind, the spirit, and the heart working in unison, aligned with the deeper truths of existence. This book is a guide for those who seek to rediscover this ancient wisdom, to awaken the hidden strength within, and to walk the path of self-mastery. It is not a path for the faint of heart, for it requires one to look within and confront the shadows that have kept them bound. It requires a willingness to transcend the ordinary and step into the extraordinary, to let go of limiting beliefs and embrace the fullness of one's potential. The teachings presented here are drawn from the esoteric traditions that have long been guarded by secret orders and mystical schools. They offer a map, not only for personal empowerment but for spiritual awakening and transformation. As you embark on this journey, know that the road to self-mastery is not linear. It is a spiral, one that takes you deeper into the mysteries of your own being with each step. Along the way, you will uncover hidden aspects of yourself, both light and shadow, and learn to integrate these into a cohesive whole. The goal is not to become something other than what you are, but to become more fully yourself, to awaken the latent power that has always been there, waiting for you to claim it. The chapters that follow will take you through the principles and teachings of the ancient esoteric traditions, offering insights and reflections that can help you unlock your hidden strengths. Each chapter builds upon the last, guiding you deeper into the mysteries of the mind, body, and spirit. As you read, I invite you to reflect on your own life, to consider where you may be holding yourself back, and to explore how these teachings can help you break free from the limitations you have placed upon yourself. This is not a journey of quick fixes or superficial solutions. It is a journey of profound transformation, one that requires patience, dedication, and an open heart. But for those who are willing to walk the path, the rewards are immeasurable. You will discover a strength within you that is unshakable, a power that can reshape your reality and elevate your spirit. This is the hidden power that the ancient sages spoke of, the power that lies within each of us, waiting to be awakened. Chapter 1. The Hermetic Principle of Mentalism, the Mind as the Source of All Power. In the realm of ancient wisdom, the first key to unlocking personal power lies in the mind. The Hermetic Principle of Mentalism, the cornerstone of Hermetic philosophy, declares that all is mind. This simple yet profound statement reveals the truth that the universe itself, in all its complexity, is a mental construct. To understand the principle of mentalism is to grasp the foundational truth that everything begins with thought. The mind is not merely a tool for perceiving reality, it is the very fabric from which reality is woven. The sages of old knew that the power of the mind transcends the boundaries of the physical world. It is through the mind that we create, that we shape our experiences, and that we influence the world around us. Every thought, every belief, every intention sends ripples through the fabric of reality, creating a corresponding effect in the material world. The mind is the architect of our existence, and through conscious mastery of thought, we hold the power to transform our lives in ways that defy ordinary understanding. But to wield this power requires discipline, for the mind, like a wild horse, must be tamed. Left unchecked, it can become a source of chaos, filled with doubts, fears, and limiting beliefs that cloud our perception and hinder our growth. The first step on the path of self-mastery is to bring the mind into alignment with the higher truths of existence. This requires not only awareness but intentional focus. We must learn to observe our thoughts, to recognize the patterns that shape our reality, and to consciously choose the thoughts that serve our highest good. Mentalism teaches that the mind is not just a passive receiver of reality but an active creator. When we understand that our thoughts are the seeds from which our experiences grow, we begin to take responsibility for the reality we create. Every limitation we encounter, every obstacle we face, is a reflection of the thoughts we hold within. And just as we have the power to create limits, we also have the power to dissolve them. By shifting our focus, by choosing thoughts of empowerment, possibility, and growth, we can reshape the world around us and unlock the hidden strengths within. As you reflect on this principle, consider the thoughts that dominate your mind. Are they thoughts of empowerment or limitation? Do they uplift you, or do they keep you bound in fear and doubt? The path of self-mastery begins with the mind, for it is through the mind that all things are created. To unlock your hidden power, you must first unlock the power of your thoughts. Chapter 2. The Alchemical Process of Self-Transmutation. Within the hidden chambers of alchemy lies a secret that has captivated the minds of mystics and seekers throughout the ages, the art of transmutation. To the uninitiated, alchemy might appear to be nothing more than a quest to transform base metals into gold, a material pursuit cloaked in mystery. But those who delve deeper into its teachings come to realize that alchemy is not a science of the material world alone. It is a sacred art of personal transformation. The true alchemical work takes place within, in the crucible of the mind and spirit, where the basest aspects of the self are purified and transmuted into something far greater. The stages of alchemy, nigredo, albedo, and rubedo, serve as powerful metaphors for the inner work required on the path of self-mastery. Nigredo, the blackening, represents the process of purification. It is the moment when we confront the shadow within, the aspects of ourselves that we have hidden away, denied, or repressed. This is not an easy stage, for it requires a deep level of honesty and self-awareness. To truly transform, we must first acknowledge the parts of ourselves that hold us back, our fears, insecurities, and limiting beliefs. It is in the darkness of nigredo that we strip away the false layers of the self and prepare for the next stage of evolution. Albedo, the whitening, follows nigredo. It is the stage of illumination, where the purified self begins to emerge from the ashes of the old. Here, we gain clarity of mind and spirit, seeing ourselves and the world with new eyes. The illusions that once clouded our vision are lifted, and we are able to recognize the truth of our own divine nature. This stage is one of renewal and enlightenment, where we begin to integrate the lessons learned in the darkness and turn them into wisdom. It is a time of inner illumination, where the light of the higher self begins to shine through. Finally, we reach rubedo, the reddening, the stage of integration and completion. In this stage, the inner work comes to fruition. The transformation is complete, and we embody the wisdom and strength that we have cultivated along the way. The purified self, now fully integrated, becomes the philosopher's stone, the symbol of inner power and mastery. Rubedo is the realization of the self's highest potential, the moment when we step fully into our power and use it to shape our reality in alignment with our true purpose. This alchemical process is not a linear one. It is cyclical, and we may find ourselves moving through these stages many times in our lives. Each cycle brings us deeper into the mysteries of the self, refining us with every turn. The key to mastering this process is patience and persistence. Just as the alchemist must tend to the fire with great care, so too must we nurture our inner transformation, allowing the alchemical process to unfold at its own pace. Reflect on where you might be in your own alchemical journey. Are you in the Negretto stage, confronting the shadows within? Or perhaps you are in the light of albedo, gaining clarity and insight? Wherever you find yourself, know that each stage is a necessary part of the process, and that every step brings you closer to the realization of your true power. The work of self-transmutation is the work of a lifetime, but with each cycle, you move closer to the mastery of the self and the unlocking of your hidden strengths. The gold of alchemy is not a material substance, but the refined essence of the soul, purified through the fires of transformation. Chapter 3. Gnostic Wisdom, the Power of Self-Knowledge. In the ancient teachings of Gnosticism, the path to personal empowerment is illuminated by a singular guiding principle, gnosis, or inner knowledge. Unlike the knowledge of the external world, which can be gathered from books or imparted by teachers, gnosis is the direct, experiential knowledge of the divine spark within. It is the realization that the ultimate truths of existence are not to be found in the material realm but are revealed through an intimate understanding of the self. To the Gnostic, ignorance of this inner reality is the root of all suffering and limitation, while self-knowledge is the key to freedom and mastery. The Gnostics believed that the material world, with all its illusions and distractions, is a veil that obscures our true nature. To be trapped in ignorance of this reality is to be enslaved by the forces of the world, bound by the limitations of the physical, mental, and emotional planes. But within each of us lies a divine spark, a fragment of the infinite, waiting to be awakened. The journey of Gnosis is the journey to uncover this hidden essence, to peel away the layers of illusion and come face to face with the true self. It is this journey that leads to self-mastery, for only when we know who we truly are can we begin to harness our full potential. At the heart of Gnostic teaching is the idea that true power comes from within. External achievements, material success, and societal status are fleeting and ultimately meaningless without the foundation of self-knowledge. The Gnostic path teaches us that the greatest strength we can possess is the understanding of our own divine nature, the recognition that we are not separate from the source of all creation but are expressions of it. To know oneself is to know the universe, for the same divine essence that flows through the cosmos flows through us as well. This understanding dissolves the boundaries of limitation, allowing us to access the infinite wellspring of power that resides within. But this journey is not without its challenges. The path to Gnosis is one of profound introspection and inner work. It requires the courage to face our shadows, to confront the aspects of ourselves that we have buried in the depths of our subconscious. These shadows are the remnants of ignorance, the fears, doubts, and insecurities that have been shaped by the material world and its false promises. To awaken to Gnosis is to bring these shadows into the light, to understand them, and ultimately to transcend them. It is through this process of inner revelation that we come to understand our true nature as divine beings, capable of shaping our reality according to the higher truths of the universe. Self-knowledge, then, is the foundation upon which all personal growth and empowerment are built. Without it, we are like leaves blown by the winds of circumstance, reacting to the external world without any real sense of purpose or direction. But with it, we become the masters of our destiny, capable of moving through the world with clarity, strength, and intention. The power of Gnosis is the power of certainty, the unshakable knowledge that we are not defined by the limitations of the material world, but are creators of our own experience, boundless and eternal. As you reflect on the teachings of Gnosis, consider how much you truly know yourself. How well do you understand the motivations that drive your actions? Are there aspects of yourself that remain hidden, unexplored, or misunderstood? The journey to self-knowledge is one of constant discovery, and it is through this discovery that we unlock the full potential of our inner power. The Gnostics taught that the divine spark within us is always present, waiting to be recognized. It is up to us to awaken to this truth, to look beyond the illusions of the material world, and to claim the power that is rightfully ours. Chapter 4. The Rosicrucian Quest for Inner Balance. In the silent chambers of the Rosicrucian tradition, wisdom flows like a hidden stream, nourishing the soul's journey toward inner balance. The Rosicrucians, guardians of both practical and mystical knowledge, understood that true personal power and self-mastery arise from the harmonious alignment of mind, body, and spirit. This sacred equilibrium, often elusive, is the key to unlocking the higher faculties of the soul and accessing the wellspring of inner strength that resides within us all. The Rosicrucians believed that the universe itself is a reflection of a divine order, a cosmic harmony that permeates all things. To live in alignment with this order is to live in a state of balance, where the forces of light and shadow, masculine and feminine, intellect and emotion, are held in perfect harmony. Yet in the modern world, we often find ourselves pulled in opposing directions, our thoughts racing, our emotions unbalanced, our bodies fatigued. This dissonance creates internal conflict, obscuring the path to self-mastery and preventing us from accessing the full potential of our being. The Rosicrucian quest is thus one of restoring balance, bringing the various aspects of the self into alignment with the divine order of the cosmos. At the core of the Rosicrucian teachings is the understanding that imbalance within the self leads to weakness, while harmony leads to strength. Just as a finely tuned instrument creates music that resonates with the harmony of the universe, so too does a balanced individual move through life with grace, clarity, and power. To achieve this balance, the Rosicrucians taught that one must integrate the polarities within. The intellect must work in harmony with intuition, the physical body must be in alignment with the spirit, and the heart must be in communion with the mind. It is in this sacred union of opposites that the true power of self-mastery is realized. The Rosicrucians employed a variety of symbols and practices to help initiate this process of inner balance. The rose, for example, symbolized the soul in full bloom, its petals representing the unfolding of inner wisdom as one moved closer to spiritual harmony. The cross, which accompanied the rose in the Rosicrucian symbol, represented the four elements and the physical body, grounding the spiritual in the material world. Together, the rose and the cross symbolize the balance of spirit and matter, intellect and heart, higher aspirations and earthly responsibilities. This sacred symbol served as a reminder that the path to personal empowerment lies not in rejecting the material world but in harmonizing it with the spiritual. To walk the Rosicrucian path is to engage in a continual process of self-examination, introspection, and realignment. It is a path of gentle but deliberate cultivation, where the seeker learns to balance the forces within themselves through meditation, reflection, and disciplined practice. By bringing the mind into a state of calm focus, the emotions into a state of serene clarity, and the body into a state of vital health, one creates a foundation upon which higher spiritual experiences can be built. This balance not only strengthens the individual but also allows them to become a conduit for the higher wisdom and energy of the universe. As you reflect on these teachings, consider the areas of your life where imbalance may exist. Do you find your mind consumed with constant thoughts, leaving little space for reflection or spiritual insight? Are your emotions reactive, pulling you in different directions, rather than being a source of strength and guidance? Is your physical body aligned with your spiritual goals, or does it hinder your progress with fatigue or discomfort? The Rosicrucian quest for inner balance invites you to bring these aspects of yourself into harmony, recognizing that when mind, body, and spirit are aligned, you unlock the full potential of your being. Balance is not a static state but a dynamic process, one that requires continuous awareness and adjustment. Just as the planets orbit the sun in a delicate dance of forces, so too must we navigate the polarities of life with grace and wisdom. The Rosicrucian teachings remind us that it is through this balance, this sacred dance of opposites, that we find the strength to overcome limitations, the clarity to discern truth, and the power to shape our destiny. Chapter 5. The Hermetic Principle of Correspondence, Mastering Inner and Outer Worlds. Deep within the ancient vaults of Hermetic wisdom, the principle of correspondence whispers to those who seek mastery over both the inner and outer realms. As above, so below. As within, so without. This simple yet profound axiom reveals the interconnectedness of all things, from the vast workings of the cosmos to the hidden chambers of the human soul. To master this principle is to understand that the forces that shape the universe also shape our individual lives, and that by mastering our inner world, we gain mastery over the outer. The Hermetic Principle of Correspondence teaches that there is a reflection between the microcosm and the macrocosm, between the individual and the universe. The patterns that govern the heavens are mirrored in the workings of the human mind, body, and spirit. It is a law that spans all levels of existence, from the highest spiritual realms to the physical, emotional, and mental planes. By observing the principles at work in the world around us, we gain insight into the workings of our own inner nature. Likewise, by understanding the dynamics of our inner self, we begin to see how they manifest in the world outside. This principle invites us to explore the alignment between our thoughts, emotions, and actions with the larger currents of life. It reminds us that the outer world is but a reflection of our inner state. If there is turmoil within, we will see it mirrored in the circumstances around us. If we cultivate peace and clarity within, our external reality will naturally reflect that harmony. The Hermetic sages taught that through the mastery of this principle, one could influence their destiny and shape their experience of the world by aligning their internal state with the higher laws of the universe. In applying the principle of correspondence, one must first turn inward, seeking to understand the patterns and dynamics that govern their inner life. Thoughts, emotions, and beliefs create vibrations that ripple out into the world, attracting experiences that correspond to their frequency. Thus, the first step to mastering the outer world is mastering the inner. It is said that the universe is mental in nature, and by aligning the mind with higher principles, one can influence the unfolding of events and circumstances in the external world. Yet, this principle also offers a caution. As much as the outer world reflects the inner, it also serves as a teacher, revealing the areas within ourselves that require attention. If we encounter obstacles or difficulties in life, the Hermetic wisdom suggests that these are but mirrors of unresolved inner conflicts or imbalances. The outer world provides feedback, showing us where our thoughts, emotions, or actions are out of alignment with the natural flow of the cosmos. Rather than resisting these challenges, the Hermetic student is encouraged to use them as opportunities for self-reflection and growth, adjusting their internal state to bring about the desired harmony in their external experience. The mastery of this principle is not merely a mental exercise but a spiritual practice. It requires a deepening awareness of how thoughts and beliefs shape reality and how personal alignment with universal laws can open the doors to new possibilities. The Rosicrucians, who were deeply influenced by Hermetic philosophy, often spoke of living in alignment with the stars, a metaphor for attuning one's inner life to the cosmic rhythms that govern all things. When the inner and outer worlds are in harmony, life flows with grace and synchronicity, and the obstacles that once seemed insurmountable dissolve before the steady gaze of the awakened mind. As you contemplate the principle of correspondence, consider the ways in which your outer reality mirrors your inner state. Reflect on the patterns that have shaped your life and how they correspond to your inner beliefs, attitudes, and emotional states. Where there is discord in your life, turn inward to seek the source of imbalance. Where there is harmony and success, recognize that these are the fruits of an aligned and focused mind. By mastering this principle, you hold the key to influencing both your inner and outer worlds, creating a life that reflects the highest aspirations of your soul. In the stillness of self-reflection, you begin to understand that the world is not separate from you. It is a mirror, reflecting back the truth of your inner state. Through the Hermetic lens, life becomes a sacred dialogue between the soul and the universe, each reflecting the other in an eternal dance of correspondence. To walk the path of mastery is to align these reflections, to see the divine in all things, and to create a life that mirrors the beauty and harmony of the cosmos itself. Chapter 6. The Power of Polarity, Integrating Opposites for Growth. In the ancient mysteries of Hermeticism, there is a teaching that speaks to the dual nature of all existence, the principle of polarity. Everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. These words, inscribed in the sacred texts of old, guide the seeker to a profound realization that the universe is made up of complementary opposites, and it is through the integration of these opposites that true growth and mastery are achieved. Light and darkness, joy and sorrow, success and failure. These are but two ends of the same continuum. To deny one is to deny the whole. The Hermetic sages taught that within the dance of opposites lies the secret to personal transformation. Just as day turns into night and winter into spring, so too do our internal states ebb and flow between extremes. By recognizing that every polarity contains the seed of its opposite, we begin to understand that life is a constant process of balance and integration. The key to mastering this law is not to reject one pole in favor of the other, but to embrace both, recognizing the necessity of duality in the unfolding of personal growth. Polarity reveals itself in every aspect of life, not just in the external world but also within the mind and heart. We are often taught to pursue the light and reject the dark, to seek success and avoid failure. Yet the Hermetic teachings remind us that there is wisdom to be found in both. Darkness contains the potential for light, just as failure holds the seeds of future success. To reject the challenging aspects of life is to miss the opportunity for deeper understanding. It is through our moments of sorrow that we come to appreciate joy, and through our struggles that we discover our strength. The true power of polarity lies in the integration of these opposites within ourselves. When we learn to accept both sides of a polarity, our strengths and weaknesses, our fears and our courage, we create a state of inner harmony. This does not mean passively accepting all experiences as they are, but rather actively engaging with them, learning from each, and understanding their place in the grand scheme of our evolution. It is said that the Hermetic master is one who has learned to transmute the polarities of life, transforming fear into courage, ignorance into wisdom, and failure into success. As we walk the path of polarity, we begin to see that every extreme is but an illusion. In truth, there are no absolutes, only degrees of the same essence. Heat and cold, for example, are not different substances but varying degrees of temperature. Likewise, Love and hate are not opposites in the truest sense but different expressions of the same emotional force. By learning to see the unity behind the apparent opposites, we transcend the limitations of dualistic thinking and rise to a higher understanding of the nature of reality. The path of integration requires a deep willingness to embrace all aspects of oneself, even those that are difficult or uncomfortable. We cannot fully know the light within us without acknowledging the shadow that walks beside it. It is in this acknowledgement, in the acceptance of both our darkness and our light, that we find the true alchemy of transformation. To embrace the full spectrum of our experience is to step into the fullness of our power. It is here that the soul finds its balance and harmony, weaving the opposites into a unified whole. In reflecting on the principle of polarity, consider the areas of your life where you resist one pole or another. Do you reject your weaknesses in favor of only focusing on your strengths? Do you avoid discomfort, seeking only pleasure and ease? The Hermetic wisdom invites you to explore these tensions, not to reject them but to integrate them. Every polarity contains the potential for growth, and by embracing both sides, you create a pathway to inner mastery. As you contemplate the nature of polarity, remember that each side of the coin is necessary for the coin to exist. In the grand dance of existence, both light and dark, joy and sorrow, triumph and defeat have their place. It is through their interplay that the soul evolves, and it is through their integration that the individual transcends the limitations of duality and steps into the realm of unity, where true power resides. The mastery of polarity is the mastery of life itself. Chapter 7. Esoteric Symbols, Unlocking the Subconscious Mind. Throughout the ages, symbols have acted as gateways to the hidden realms of consciousness. They are the language of the soul, speaking directly to the subconscious mind in ways that words and logic cannot. In esoteric traditions, whether in alchemy, Hermeticism, or the mysticism of the Rosicrucians, symbols hold the key to unlocking the deeper layers of the self. They are not merely abstract images but living forces that can reveal profound truths about our inner world and guide us toward personal transformation. Esoteric symbols function like keys that open doors to the mind's hidden chambers. These symbols, rich in meaning and multi-layered in their significance, tap into universal truths and archetypes that exist beyond the reach of ordinary consciousness. Consider the philosopher's stone in alchemy, the Ouroboros serpent consuming its own tail, or the sacred geometry of the flower of life. Each of these symbols carries within it a cosmic truth, representing principles of creation, transformation, and unity. When meditated upon, these symbols serve as mirrors, reflecting back to us the mysteries of the universe and the mysteries within ourselves. The power of symbols lies in their ability to bypass the conscious mind, which often clings to linear thinking and rational interpretation. Symbols speak directly to the subconscious, where the most profound aspects of our psyche reside. When we work with symbols, we are not engaging with mere intellectual ideas, but with forces that stir the depths of our being. The subconscious mind responds to symbols because it speaks their language. The images they evoke tap into ancient memories, collective archetypes, and personal associations, activating insights that we may not even be consciously aware of. In the Hermetic tradition, symbols are used not only to communicate hidden knowledge but also to catalyze transformation. The process of engaging with a symbol is one of inner alchemy, an act of allowing the symbol to awaken something dormant within us. Take the image of the Ouroboros, the serpent devouring its own tail. It represents the cycle of life, death, and rebirth, the eternal return. But when meditated upon deeply, it also reveals a personal truth, the cycle of transformation within us, the constant renewal of the self through the process of destruction and creation. By contemplating the Ouroboros, one may unlock the wisdom of continuous inner renewal, of the need to embrace both endings and beginnings as essential parts of growth. Sacred geometry is another powerful example of how symbols can reveal the structure of reality and the hidden dimensions of the self. The flower of life, a complex geometric figure made up of overlapping circles, is found in many mystical traditions and represents the fundamental patterns of creation. It is said to contain the blueprint of the universe itself. When we meditate on such sacred symbols, we align ourselves with the universal order, gaining access to deeper layers of harmony and insight. The very structure of these symbols acts as a map for the soul, guiding us through the process of self-realization and cosmic understanding. But esoteric symbols are not static, they are alive with meaning that evolves as we evolve. What a symbol reveals to us today may be different from what it reveals a year from now, depending on the level of consciousness we bring to it. Symbols are dynamic forces that grow with us, revealing deeper truths as we progress on our spiritual path. This is the beauty of working with symbols in esoteric traditions. They are inexhaustible sources of wisdom, waiting to be unlocked through contemplation and inner exploration. As we consider the role of symbols in unlocking the subconscious mind, it is important to reflect on the symbols that appear in our own lives. Which images, patterns, or signs seem to resonate with you on a deep level? What symbols keep reappearing in your dreams, meditations, or even in daily life? These are the symbols that speak to your soul, inviting you to delve deeper into their meanings. By engaging with these symbols, you unlock parts of yourself that have been hidden or forgotten, revealing new insights and empowering you to move forward on your path of self-mastery. Symbols are bridges between the conscious and subconscious realms, guiding us toward greater understanding of ourselves and the universe. In working with symbols, we transcend the limitations of language and thought, stepping into a world where the soul communicates directly with the deeper currents of existence. The true power of symbols lies in their ability to awaken what already exists within us, to shine a light on the parts of ourselves that are waiting to be discovered. Through symbols, we begin to understand the deeper dimensions of reality, and through this understanding, we unlock the hidden power of our own minds. Chapter 8. The Mystical Path of Self-Mastery. The path of self-mastery is one of inner discipline and sacred study, a journey undertaken not in the outer world but within the depths of the self. It is a path that winds through the hidden corridors of the soul, where the mysteries of life and existence reveal themselves to those who seek. In the ancient traditions of mysticism, self-mastery is not simply the act of controlling one's impulses or achieving worldly success. It is the process of becoming attuned to the divine order of the universe and harmonizing the mind, body, and spirit with the deeper truths that govern existence. Mystics across the ages, whether from the Gnostic, Hermetic, or Rosicrucian traditions, have all emphasized the importance of discipline and focus in achieving self-mastery. The mind, left to its own devices, can be a restless and turbulent force, driven by desires, fears, and attachments. It is through the practices of meditation, contemplation, and sacred study that the mind is quieted, focused, and refined, allowing the individual to tap into their deeper spiritual nature. The mystic knows that self-mastery is not about suppressing or controlling the self through sheer willpower but about transforming the self through understanding and alignment with higher principles. Meditation is the first and perhaps most essential tool on this path. It is the art of stilling the mind, of turning the gaze inward and attuning to the deeper currents of the soul. In the silence of meditation, the noise of the world fades away, and the eternal truths that reside within begin to emerge. The mystics of old often referred to meditation as the inner alchemy, the process by which the base elements of the mind, such as scattered thoughts and emotional turbulence, are transmuted into the pure gold of spiritual insight. Through the consistent practice of meditation, the mind becomes a vessel for higher wisdom, and the practitioner begins to gain mastery over their inner world. Contemplation, too, is a vital aspect of self-mastery. While meditation stills the mind, contemplation focuses it. It is the practice of turning one's attention toward a specific concept, symbol, or teaching, allowing it to unfold in the mind and reveal its deeper layers of meaning. The great mystics understood that truth is not something to be grasped intellectually but something to be experienced directly through deep reflection. In contemplating the mysteries of existence, whether it be the nature of the divine, the structure of the universe, or the inner workings of the soul, one begins to transcend the limitations of ordinary thought and perception. Through contemplation, the mind is expanded, and the individual moves closer to the state of unity with the divine that is the hallmark of true self-mastery. Sacred study is the third pillar of the mystical path. The great esoteric traditions have left behind a wealth of knowledge in the form of texts, symbols, and teachings, all of which serve as guides on the journey of self-mastery. The Hermetic texts, the teachings of the Rosicrucians, and the writings of the Gnostics are more than just intellectual exercises, they are roadmaps to the soul. Through the study of these sacred teachings, one gains not only knowledge but wisdom, learning how to apply the principles of the universe to one's own life. Sacred study opens the door to higher understanding, allowing the seeker to integrate the lessons of the past with the experiences of the present, thus creating a foundation for spiritual growth and personal empowerment. But self-mastery is not a destination, it is an ongoing journey. The more one delves into the mysteries of the self, the more there is to discover. Each new level of understanding reveals deeper layers of truth, and with each revelation, the individual moves closer to the ultimate goal of the mystical path, union with the divine. This union is not something that can be achieved through force or effort. It is the natural outcome of a life lived in harmony with the principles of the universe. Self-mastery is about aligning oneself with these principles, allowing the divine order to flow through the mind, body, and spirit without obstruction. The true mystic understands that self-mastery is not about controlling the external world or even controlling the self. It is about surrendering to the higher forces that govern all things. It is about becoming a vessel for the divine, allowing one's thoughts, actions, and intentions to be guided by the wisdom of the universe. This is the path of self-mastery, a path that leads not to domination but to liberation, not to power over others but to power over the self. It is a path of humility, discipline, and surrender, but it is also a path of immense personal power, for it is only through mastering the self that one can truly begin to understand and influence the world around them. In walking the mystical path of self-mastery, we begin to see that the boundaries between the self and the universe are not as solid as they appear. The mind, once thought to be separate and isolated, is revealed to be part of the greater cosmic mind. The soul, once believed to be limited by the body, is shown to be infinite and eternal. Through the practices of meditation, contemplation, and sacred study, the mystic transcends the illusion of separation and steps into the fullness of their being, unlocking the hidden strengths that lie within. And in doing so, they move ever closer to the ultimate goal of self-mastery, the realization of their own divine nature and their place within the grand design of the cosmos. Chapter 9. The Great Work, Achieving the Pinnacle of Self-Mastery. The concept of the Great Work stands at the heart of esoteric traditions, symbolizing the ultimate goal of spiritual and personal evolution. It is the alchemical journey of transforming the self into something greater, a process that transcends mere survival and enters the realms of deep, sacred understanding. Those who embark on this path are not seeking fleeting worldly success, but rather the eternal refinement of their soul. The great work is the journey toward self-mastery, an alchemical marriage of the mind, body, and spirit, where every aspect of the self is integrated and transmuted into the gold of wisdom and inner power. In the teachings of alchemy, the great work represents the final stage of transformation, the moment when the base elements of the self have been purified, illuminated, and harmonized. This is not a process of sudden revelation or quick achievement. It is the culmination of years, perhaps lifetimes, of inner work. Alchemists often spoke in metaphorical terms about turning lead into gold, but the true alchemical process was about transforming one's inner lead, the limiting thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, into the radiant gold of self-realization. The completion of the great work is the moment when the seeker transcends their previous limitations, achieving mastery over themselves and their destiny. But what does it truly mean to achieve the great work? At its core, this sacred endeavor is about the integration of all aspects of the self. It requires the merging of the conscious and the unconscious, the light and the dark, the masculine and the feminine energies within. This integration is not about denying any part of the self, but about bringing all parts into balance and harmony. In many esoteric traditions, this is symbolized by the alchemical marriage, the union of opposites, where dualities cease to be in conflict and instead work together in perfect unity. The great work is not about achieving a state of perfection in the way the world often perceives it. Rather, it is about achieving wholeness, completeness, and balance within the self. The ancient sages knew that true power comes not from conquering the external world, but from mastering the inner one. This is the essence of the great work, transforming one's inner world to reflect the divine order of the universe. It is a process of self-mastery that requires the seeker to refine their thoughts, emotions, and actions, aligning them with the highest spiritual truths. This journey is deeply personal, yet it mirrors the cosmic processes that govern all life. Just as the sun rises and sets, bringing light and shadow in an eternal dance, so too must the seeker learn to navigate their own cycles of growth, illumination, and renewal. To undertake the great work is to commit to a path of lifelong transformation. Each step forward on this path brings the seeker closer to their true self, but with each new level of mastery comes the understanding that there is always more to learn, more to integrate. The alchemist's quest is never truly finished, for the great work is not a final destination but an ongoing process of refinement. This is one of the deepest mysteries of the esoteric traditions, the realization that there is no end to the journey of self-mastery, only deeper levels of understanding, greater heights of spiritual insight, and more profound experiences of personal power. In many ways, the great work is a dance with the divine. It is the seeker's attempt to align themselves with the cosmic forces that govern creation, to live in harmony with the natural laws of the universe. In this dance, the individual becomes both the creator and the created, shaping their own destiny while being shaped by the higher forces of the cosmos. The great work teaches that the individual is not separate from the universe but is a part of its eternal unfolding. To achieve self-mastery is to realize this unity and to live in accordance with it, allowing the flow of the divine to guide one's thoughts, actions, and intentions. The true pinnacle of self-mastery is reached when the individual no longer seeks control over their environment or circumstances but instead seeks to align with the divine order of the universe. This is the final revelation of the great work, that mastery over the self and mastery over the world are one and the same. When the mind, body, and spirit are in harmony, the seeker no longer feels the need to force outcomes or resist the flow of life. Instead, they become a conduit for the divine, allowing the universe to work through them in perfect alignment with their highest purpose. As the seeker progresses through the stages of the great work, they begin to realize that each transformation brings them closer to the ultimate truth of their existence, that they are, in essence, a spark of the divine, capable of creating and transforming their reality. This is the final secret of the alchemists, the hidden wisdom that lies at the heart of all esoteric traditions, that the power to transform one's life, to achieve self-mastery, and to realize the great work has always been within. The journey is not about acquiring something new, but about uncovering what has been hidden within the self all along. In this moment of realization, the seeker understands that the true great work is the work of the soul, the eternal process of refining, purifying, and illuminating the self. It is the alchemical process of turning the lead of ignorance and limitation into the gold of wisdom and freedom. And while the journey may never truly end, the seeker comes to peace with this truth, for they know that each step forward brings them closer to the divine, closer to the realization of their own inner power and mastery. Thus, the great work is not a final goal to be achieved but a way of being. It is the ongoing practice of living in harmony with the divine, of continuously refining and transforming the self in accordance with the highest spiritual truths. It is the path of the mystic, the alchemist, and the seeker, a journey that transcends time and space, leading ever closer to the ultimate truth of existence, that we are all, in our essence, divine beings, capable of limitless transformation and infinite growth. Chapter 10. Conclusion. The continuous journey of self-mastery. The journey of self-mastery is not a single destination, but a winding path that unfolds over the course of a lifetime. It is a path that begins in the mind and extends through every facet of one's being, encompassing both the seen and unseen realms of existence. To embark on the journey of self-mastery is to commit to an ongoing process of transformation, one that deepens with every revelation, every challenge, and every triumph. The ancient sages knew that personal power and spiritual awakening are not easily attained, for they require the seeker to confront their innermost fears, limitations, and desires. But it is within this very confrontation that the seeds of growth are planted, waiting to blossom into the full realization of one's potential. In this book, we have explored the profound teachings of Hermeticism, Gnosticism, alchemy, and Rosicrucian wisdom, each offering a unique lens through which to view the process of self-mastery. At the heart of all these traditions lies a common thread, the understanding that personal transformation begins within, and that the mind is the ultimate key to unlocking the hidden strengths and powers that reside in every individual. From the Hermetic Principle of Mentalism, which teaches that all is mind, to the alchemical process of transmutation, which shows us how to refine and elevate our thoughts and emotions, the journey to self-mastery is one that is intricately tied to the mastery of the mind. But self-mastery is not merely an intellectual pursuit. It is an experiential process, one that engages the body, mind, and spirit in a dance of integration and harmony. In the teachings of the Rosicrucians, we learn that balance is essential for unlocking our true potential. When we bring harmony to the polarities within, whether they be masculine and feminine energies, light and shadow, or strength and vulnerability, we open the door to a deeper and more profound sense of self. This balance is not static, but dynamic, continually shifting and evolving as we grow. It requires constant attention, awareness, and practice, for self-mastery is not a one-time achievement but an ever-unfolding process. As we move through life, we encounter challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. These are not obstacles to self-mastery but opportunities for deeper growth. The great work, as the alchemists called it, is the process of refining and purifying the self through these very challenges. Each difficulty we face, each inner demon we confront, serves as the crucible through which we transform our base nature into something more refined, more luminous. In this way, the journey of self-mastery becomes a sacred alchemical process, one in which we are constantly transmuting the lead of our limitations into the gold of our true potential. One of the deepest truths revealed by the esoteric traditions is that self-mastery is not about gaining control over external circumstances. It is about gaining mastery over the internal landscape of the mind, emotions, and spirit. When we achieve this inner mastery, the external world begins to reflect our inner state. This is the essence of the Hermetic principle of correspondence, as within, so without. As we align our inner world with our highest intentions, the outer world naturally follows suit, and we begin to see the fruits of our internal work manifest in our external reality. However, it is important to remember that self-mastery is not about perfection. It is not about eradicating all weaknesses or becoming immune to the struggles of life. Rather, it is about learning to navigate these struggles with grace, wisdom, and resilience. It is about understanding that even in moments of doubt or failure, we are still on the path, still growing, still evolving. The path of self-mastery is one of continuous growth, where every experience, whether joyful or painful, serves as a stepping stone toward greater understanding and empowerment. At the heart of this journey is the realization that true power comes not from the external, but from within. It is the power to shape our thoughts, to master our emotions, and to align our actions with our highest spiritual truths. It is the power to live in harmony with the natural laws of the universe, to recognize our interconnectedness with all of life, and to act from a place of love, wisdom, and compassion. This is the ultimate lesson of the great work, that we are not separate from the universe, but an integral part of its unfolding. As we master ourselves, we become active participants in the creative process of life, co-creators of our destiny and stewards of the divine forces that flow through us. In conclusion, the journey of self-mastery is one that requires patience, dedication, and courage. It is a journey that demands we look within, face our shadows, and embrace the totality of who we are. But it is also a journey that offers unparalleled rewards, greater wisdom, inner peace, personal empowerment, and a deeper connection to the divine. The ancient sages understood that this path is not for the faint of heart, but for those who are willing to walk the narrow road of self-discovery and transformation. For those who undertake this journey, the rewards are not just personal but universal, for in mastering ourselves, we contribute to the greater harmony of the cosmos. And so, as we conclude this exploration of self-mastery, I leave you with one final reflection. The journey of personal transformation never truly ends. It is a lifelong process, one that will continue to unfold as you grow, evolve, and deepen your understanding of yourself and the universe. There will always be new challenges to face, new lessons to learn, and new strengths to discover. But with each step forward, you are moving closer to the realization of your true potential, unlocking the hidden power that has always resided within. May your journey be one of continuous growth, inner strength, and boundless discovery. And may you always remember that the path of self-mastery is not about reaching a final destination, but about embracing the ever-unfolding process of becoming. Before you go, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you're stuck, no matter how hard you try? Like you're just repeating the same cycles, waiting for something to click? You're not alone. I know how that feels. Here's the thing. The change you're searching for doesn't come from trying harder. It comes from knowing where to start and building a system that works for you. That's exactly why I created Project 24, a 24-week guide to help you design the life you deserve. Imagine waking up every day with clarity, confidence, and the discipline to turn your dreams into reality. If that sounds like the kind of transformation you're ready for, the link is in the description. This could be the first step toward lasting change. Are you ready to take it?